I am Lee Keckner in the Everyday Family Room, and so happy to have back Triple B today because she is the parenting guru. Welcome back, Betsy Braun. Nice to have you.
Nice to be here, Lee Keckner.
She has 2 best-selling books you guys need to get called Just Tell Me What to Say and You're Not the Boss of Me. Okay, so we have some questions from our community today. Can you help us?
I'm going to try my best.
The first question is from Kelly, and she asks, my husband and I are expecting our first child together, and we each have children from previous marriages. Any advice on keeping our blended family happy and in sync?
I have such great info for you, Kelly. Listen up. Here's what all children need in the world. It's what all people need. Each child needs most to feel significant in the life of his parents.
Oh.
If everyone in the family feels that he or she has a place in the heart, in the life of his parent, if each child is getting enough attention, and that doesn't mean constant all day long, then your blended family will be fine.
You know, my mom always said that every person has on a t-shirt that says, I need to feel important. And maybe if Kelly could see that on her stepchildren as much as she sees it on her own children's shirts.
For sure, and each one of their steps is going to feel like there's somebody else now vying for the attention of the parent. So keeping that in mind, that lets you know when to back off and let her have time with daddy, or for him to back off and let me have time with mommy. Everybody needs to get a little taste of the good stuff. And when you feel sated, you won't be so needy and act out in negative ways.
And I think too, like with anything, if you don't put too much pressure on yourself when the family just comes together, feel it out. Like you're saying, to feel when this needs what or this one needs, and not try too hard, because then you're doing what I do most of the time.
Well, you're making a really good point, because there's no such thing as perfection.
Right.
And we all have high expectations for ourselves. It's a work in progress, and it will be forever.
Fantastic. I like that. Okay, now if I may have my turn on a question. I have a 15-month-old, and she is kind of starting that stage of mine. At the same time, excitingly enough, she's starting the get out. So I was in like a little teacup bear ride at the festival on Sunday, and this mom said, could you take my boy, because that makes me sick. Will you take him? I said, sure, come on, little boy. He didn't really want to come with me anyway because his mom wasn't with him.
What was that mom thinking? That's a ridiculous thing to do to a child.
She said, that mom friend of mine, not me. So the kid gets in, and he's kind of looking at me, and my 15-month-old says, get out, get out. And I was like, Eve? And that was about as far as I got with my parenting, because I need help from you before I take it to the next step.
So here's what I would have had you say to that little boy. First of all, I would have had you say to that mom, don't think so, find someone else. I would have said it in that little moment.
Just because it's uncomfortable for the boy?
It's what an unreasonable request to ask a little boy to go with a perfect stranger.
And I was worried about my 15-month-old watching her.
It's not reasonable, but mothers can be desperate. I understand sometimes you kind of go to another planet. To your 15-month-old, I would have said, oh, it's hard to have a new boy here. We don't even know him. I'm your mommy, and I'm here for you. Just reassure her, because she saw him as the moving van. He's coming. This guy's coming, taking my mommy away. That's my mommy. You get out of town. We see it in 15 to 24-month-olds all the time. They don't want to share their beloved mommies. So that's
and that feels good too, because once again, I'm helping her instead of scolding her for trying to speak out on how she's feeling when she's just learning to talk.
You're supporting her.
Right. Oh,
now let me just say one other thing.
Please.
Did you see the movie Nemo?
Yes.
Remember the scene with the seagulls? Mine. That's what 18-month-old kids are like, 15. Because they're just learning where I end and you begin, and so they understand, oh, there's a you. That means that you could have ownership, and this is mine, and I don't want you to have it, so everything is mine. They want it all for themselves.
Fantastic. It does make sense. Okay, so what I want you guys to take away from this, that I just got like a huge nugget, is that support your child. So often we're like embarrassed that our kids said something that somebody might think bad of them. Instead, say, gosh, I see how you feel. I am your mommy, and I'm here for you. To take away that feeling and support the kid instead of caring about making the other parent happy.
Because when the child feels that you understand him, then he's not going to be fighting you.
Oh, thank you, Triple B. If you'd like to find out more about Betsy Braun, please go to everydayfamily.com and check out our show page and buy her books. They're awesome.